Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov, UFC 229 main event. Fightful.com, FightfulMMA.com have full live coverage of the show and discussion. Come over, make your predictions. Check out our live post show on YouTube and on Fightful.com, FightfulMMA.com. Let's break down the main event. Conor McGregor, a former double champion technically in the UFC, taking on the current champion, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Looking for a lot of things in this. Their strengths are each other's weaknesses. We've seen Khabib cracked by Michael Johnson, didn't get knocked off his feet, was stunned a little bit. I'm inclined to believe that with McGregor's reaction time, if he lands one shot like that that stuns Khabib, that he's going to land several more that follow. He's got a lot of his technical ability on the feet is really underrated because it's sometimes outshined by his loud, obnoxious personality. You see Khabib Nurmagomedov, who sometimes has to wade in order to get his takedowns. And that's the type of thing that Conor McGregor loves. But he also loves when people try to set up their takedowns with strikes so he can counter them. McGregor is a very proficient counter striker. What do you think the end game will be, James, and who are you picking?
All the logic in the world tells me that Khabib's going to survive. He's going to end up using his grappling, wrestle Conor McGregor, win a decision, or win by late finish. But it's Conor McGregor. Like you mentioned, he can knock out anyone. I look at the Eddie Alvarez knockout, for example. You know, Eddie hadn't been knocked out in a fight since you had to go all the way back to Bodog when he lost to Nick Thompson in a fight where he was basically a welterweight fighting a middleweight in that title fight. That was ages ago. And, Alvarez ended up, getting knocked out in that one. But to me, McGregor just knocks out guys that you just don't think will get knocked out. And we haven't seen Khabib really tested in that sense with some of the opponents. Now, that's not his fault. It's just some of the guys he's had to face. He hasn't really been cracked. I know he fought Michael Johnson. He got hit in that fight. But, Conor McGregor is just a completely different level. So my pick here is going to be McGregor. I really feel like if he has, especially in the early rounds, if he's able to connect, I think he can knock out anyone in the lightweight division. And I just think that Khabib, he's never faced a striker like that. Now, if Khabib gets the takedown and, gets Conor on the mat like Chad Mendes did, then we're talking about a different fight here. And we could see him control McGregor. But I don't know how you can bet against Conor McGregor. Just with what he's been able to do in the stand-up department. Anytime a guy's got knockout power like that, I think it's really tough to go against him. So I'm going McGregor. One more thing before I end my point here. There is 64 prop bets for this fight. Just to give you an example of some of the crazy prop bets, Nurmagomedov gets the most takedowns. Nurmagomedov, TKO in round 3. Like, you can literally pick to the round or the result. There's just some crazy bets here. So check that out if you guys are into betting the fights. I think there's a touch gloves one as well. So a lot of fun stuff for this fight. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, my pick is going to be McGregor. Don't at me, guys.
I'm picking McGregor as well, and he is a plus 125 to Nurmagomedov's minus 155. That's one of my I got 5 on it. But let's talk about that Mendes fight, because a lot of people didn't think that McGregor would come out with kicks because that leads to takedowns, but he still does. He chops away, digs the toes into the body, works away at the cardio of his opponent. And while McGregor's cardio has been a question, Joe, you always have to question that with a Khabib Nurmagomedov, despite how overwhelming he is. You never know what the latest weight cut is going to do to him. You never know how his body's going to respond to the latest thing that he puts through it. And he does have some offensive tools on the feet. He has the eagle punch, they call it, that starts straight, goes up and around, and it breaks through the guard of a lot of people. But that is the type of punch that if you throw it, Conor McGregor might connect with you before you land. We saw Jose Aldo throw a strike that hit Conor McGregor, but Conor McGregor recognized it and was able to land first. What do you think the overwhelming technique is that sways this fight?
If Khabib can remain mentally strong heading into this fight, he wins this fight, in my opinion. It's only Tuesday. There's a whole lot of mental warfare that he's going to have to endure leading up to Saturday's fight. So if he can remain mentally strong, and it's not going to be easy, I think he wins this fight. I think he cuts the distance off. I think, Conor is Conor. Conor, any guy that goes 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather is the best striker in UFC. Hate to break it to most people. They may not like that analogy, but he's the best striker in the UFC. So Khabib should have no business whatsoever striking with Conor unless he can convince Conor he's in a striking fight. And then this fight goes down to the ground, control Conor, and then just beat him and beat him even until the round ends, beat him for a TKO or beat him for 3 of the 5 rounds. I think that's what's going to happen. The technique here is the distance, in my opinion. Whoever can control the distance and understand where you need to be to execute whatever technique you think is going to help you in the fight is going to be the difference here. If Khabib can close the distance while getting past that left hand, he's taking Conor down all night. If Conor can understand where he is in the cage and not be too close to the cage where he can't move laterally or he can't sprawl, if he can keep that space, he's going to knock out Khabib. He's going to shock and awe Khabib until this fight's over.
As you mentioned, Joe, the range, Conor McGregor uses that and uses a plethora of tools, kicks, punches, straight punches especially, but those distance kicks where he pulls his body back from his opponent but throws the kicks outward to nail them down when they do come in. And he does it. He's gotten really good at making people circle away from his power and then attacking, because usually you want people coming in towards it. You bait people to come in towards it, but he has developed an offense where he can do that with people going away. And then when you get impatient with McGregor, he makes you pay. You take him down and you fail, he's probably going to slip and counter there too. That happens. Khabib, on the other hand, even when he fails a takedown, he puts the pressure right back on. You'll see him chase after people, even if he's not striking. He'll eat a couple just to put the pressure on. But that's a game that Conor McGregor sometimes likes unless he's exhausted. Then he doesn't necessarily like it. But we've seen Khabib literally chase people down with his hands down in order to keep the pressure on them. If Conor McGregor's cardio game isn't up to snuff, that's going to cause some issues. Now, there's the whole aspect of Conor McGregor getting dragged down to the ground. He is I think, a brown belt, technically.
Oh, he's got ground skills. He's got ground skills, but it is against the Khabib. It's a different story altogether.
Yeah, I don't think he's hitting X-guard sweeps like he did against Nate Diaz, who probably wanted down there anyway. And when Khabib takes people down, he waits for people to try to advance and defend, and then he throws shots. It's like he's racking up a score on a video game. Like every punch is a couple more points for him, then he'll submit people. It's very good, and we've seen him switch from the low single when it didn't work to the body lock and go there against Iaquinta. James, I think it's if this gets into clinch range, I would be shocked if Khabib doesn't take him down. But as we've seen, Abel Trujillo got up 15, 16 times. So it's not impossible to get up. Can Conor McGregor's ground skills lead to him getting up?
Possibly. We don't know. I mean, he's got really good coaching. He's, bringing different guys in. Who knows what he's been working on? I just know that this guy always comes to fight, in terms of coming with a great game plan. You got to put trust in the process. I think that he can surprise some people on the mat and, do what he has to do. I think no matter where this fight goes, Conor's going to be prepared, especially since he's had a lot of time for this fight too. I think this isn't like, switch up an opponent like with the Diaz fight when he's supposed to fight Rafael dos Anjos. I think Conor is the best prepared he can be heading into a fight like this.
We have a live post-show Saturday night after UFC 229. Make sure you all tune in. James will be in Las Vegas. Showdown Joe likely joining me as it seems. You all can follow him at Showdown Joe. Follow James at Lynch on Sports. Follow me at Sean Ross Sapp. But most importantly, visit Fightful.com and FightfulMMA.com. Got coverage all week. Another presser on Thursday. We will have it streaming at the site. Every episode of Embedded, Inside the Octagon, Countdown, all that good stuff. Head over to Fightful.com and check it out. Until next time, guys,